Welcome back to Gold Derby. I'm Christopher Rosen. I'm joined by Joyce, saying, Joyce, we're doing this second time in as many days.
It's March Madness.
Wow, it
already
really is.
started. Yeah.
Today we're talking about the Bafta Awards. We teased this yesterday or on Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. Can't wait. Bafta Awards this weekend too. Conflict with the Critics' Choice Awards so much so that
this was Bafta called dibs on March 13th first.
And then the Critics' Choice Awards were like, what about March 15th? And we'll do a satellite broadcast from, the UK, I guess. It's going to be great.
Well, March 15th is the Ides of March. They won on March 13th.
Right.
Yeah. They didn't want to pick the 6th or the 20th.
Sure. So here we are.
Or like middle of the week either. So
no. So BAFTA Awards are happening this weekend as well. So like we had said, a big weekend. Joyce, we're going to go through the nominees, do our predictions. I think we're going to do them live too, because you and I have not talked about these or really touched them that much since the nominations were.
That's very true. And I think we're both going to probably make a change in at least one category.
Most likely. But here we go. We'll start with Best Film and just go down. For BAFTA Award nominees for 2022 Best Film were Belfast, Don't Look Up, Dune, Licorice Pizza, and The Power of the Dog. Joyce, I had Power of the Dog here when I did them, and I'm sticking with it, even though I don't know. I think it's gonna win.
Even though what? Coda's not here. Okay.
It can't be
what are you gonna change it to?
Can't be writing votes for Coda. No, it seems very likely the Power of the Dog will win here. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, not changing this one. It's number one in the odds, right? It's Belfast. It's not first, or is it? Like I know I could see Belfast winning, but I think it'll probably still lean Power of the Dog, and Belfast can probably win like Best British Film.
Exactly. We'll get to that one in a little bit, but it is also nominated for Best British Film, Tongue Twister.
Breast.
Yeah, Best British Film, Best British Film, and I think Belfast could win there. Power of the Dog certainly here. I was saying before we start recording, big December energy to those the Best Picture nominees, because you have Licorice Pizza and Don't Look Up, which were flying high at the time.
Well, yeah. So these, they initially, this was for Best Film. It was like a general vote. So they had like the 15 from round one, the long list, and that was from December to January voting.
Right.
And then round two, everyone voted. But I think we discussed after nominations, and even after Oscar nominations, that the Brits went wild for Licorice Pizza and Don't Look Up more so than Americans.
For sure. They loved them to the point where I was like, man, those are going to really clean house at the Oscars. And
I think it kind of fits because the reception here is a little bit more divisive for both films, whereas around the globe, they've been a little bit more receptive. Like they don't have the same types of hangups that we do here.
Sure.
About both of them.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Yeah. But I don't think either of them are going to win here, Joyce. So
no, I think it's between Power of the Dog and Belfast, and Power of the Dog leans more towards the BAFTA's previous Best Film winners. Nomadland won last year, obviously, and Roma, and even Three Billboards.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. For Best Director, Joyce, the nominees were Alim Khan for After Love, Raisuke Hamaguchi for Drive My Car, Audrey Diwan for Happening, Paul Thomas Anderson for Licorice Pizza, Jane Campion for Power of the Dog, and Julia DeCarno for Titan. That's a great list of nominees, first of all. Really love that.
The jury.
Yeah, good jury picks. Could have done with Steven Spielberg in there, but obviously they were...
That was never happening.
Not the most pleased with West Side Story in the BAFTAs, at least.
He's also just too mainstream for...
So,
also why I never understood people were predicting Kenneth Branagh. I was like, the jury is not going to do that.
No. So for this one, Joyce, I had Power of the Dog and Jane, and I'm sticking with Jane for Power of the Dog.
Yeah.
I could see Raisuke winning here,
though. I don't know how where Drive My Car stands at BAFTA.
Right.
Because
I have him in second.
And then also winner voting for BAFTA was from February 9th, the day after Oscar nominations, till March 8th, yesterday. So they also had a whole month. So I don't know when these people cast their votes. Like, did a lot of them do it right away? Did a lot of them do them yesterday?
If they did it right away and they're like swayed by recent history, like me, because I'm always like, oh,
you're always reactionary. You change things right
100%. If they're like me, they might be like, Razuke is gonna win. Look how much people love Drive My Car. But no, I think Jake Campion's gonna win there. I'd actually be very surprised.
Who do I even have in second? I did this in February, so I have PTA in second. I don't know. I mean, again, this is like one of those categories where someone is like so far ahead, it's like you don't even know how to rank everyone else after them.
Exactly. Joyce, now let's go to the best actress one. I've been so excited to talk about this one.
Should we do this one last? I don't even know, or like last of the acting categories.
Do we save it for last? You want to burn through some more and tease best actress?
I don't care. It doesn't matter.
We could come back to it. Yeah. If you're watching this and are like, when are they going to do best actress? You could either skip ahead or keep watching. But best actor, Joyce, the nominees were Adil Akhtar for Ali and Eva, Mahershala Ali for Swan Song, Benedict Cumberbatch, Power of the Dog, Leo for Don't Look Up, Stephen Graham for Boiling Point, Will Smith for King Richard. A lot of good nominees here. I could see at least a few people winning, honestly, because if it went like, if it goes, the one thing I always wonder with BAFTA is do they shun Hollywoodish for like their hometown nominees, right? So like Adil Akhtar or Stephen Graham, but I'm gonna pick Will Smith. I had Benedict though when I first did these, but I'm moving to Will Smith just because I think he's going to sweep through now, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, what do you think? It really could be any. I honestly would not be surprised with like 4 of these winners.
So I mean, it would be cool if it's a non-Oscar nominee.
Right.
That would be cool. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's probably between Benedict and Will, and I've always felt like even way months ago that if like Will wins the Oscar, like he can afford to lose BAFTA to Benedict.
Right.
Like it wouldn't matter. So I still have Benedict. I it's weird because I could see like Power of the Dog winning like 2 acting BAFTAs and then not winning either of them at the Oscars.
Right.
It's even though it performed better nomination wise at the Oscars as well.
Yeah. I feel like I totally agree with that. And I had thought that too, but now I'm just like, I just watching the season play out. And again, like trying to like read the rooms that is impossible to do when you're not in the rooms. I'm just like, man, you know what? Like Will Smith is going to win. People like Will Smith, no matter where.
It's also, Will is on his 3rd Oscar nomination. They've never nominated him at BAFTA before.
Right.
Still haven't nominated Denzel either.
Incredible. What an incredible miss by BAFTA.
Yeah, I guess like the logic is like Will is like probably like 98% winning the Oscar, right?
Right.
So like he should be able to sweep if he's winning. And it's also now for the winners, it's the wide membership vote. It's not a jury anymore. It's not even just the acting branch there. So, but again, like I don't know how to feel about Will Smith. Like he is a huge star, but he has no awards history at BAFTA, whereas like Benedict does. He has like 1 billion BAFTA nominations across film and TV. And like even like Power of the Dog is better well received than King Richard. King Richard wasn't even on the BAFTA editing long list, and it's an ace winner and an Oscar nominee in editing. Great editing.
Love Pamela Martin.
Yeah, it seems like I think it got 4 BAFTA nominations, right? And only one of them, right? Was it 4? But only one of them was a general vote, which is the screenplay.
Right.
Whereas like Power of the Dog had more general nomination support in the nomination stage.
Right.
So I don't know. I might stick with Benedict.
I don't think it's unwise to stick with Benedict. I just was like, and you're right. I think if Will, no matter what happens here, I still think Will will most likely win at the Oscars. I don't believe that we'll see like a resurgence. I think even if he lost here to Benedict Cumberbatch, I don't know.
It's not the same as last year with like Anthony Hopkins and Chadwick Boseman because the father was a lot stronger than Ma Rainey, and it was coming on strong at the end, and that was hyped for a full year as like he's going to win the Oscar as well.
Right.
And like Benedict has raves, but it's not on the same level. either. And King Richard is also stronger than Ma Rainey was at the Oscars.
Correct. So yeah, we'll see. I think all of those are good points, but I'm gonna stick with Will, or move to Will off of Benedict. I'm like sweep.
I could also like say I'm not gonna predict him, but I could also see Stephen Graham winning for Boiling Point.
So I thought that too.
I'm not gonna predict him.
I'm not gonna predict it either. I thought it too, because he's actually,
again, if it's a jury, I would feel more comfortable doing that.
He's actually campaigning for it. I saw he's doing like interviews like around the nomination.
Well, yeah, no, like it's like successful there, like overseas. And then it's funny because like BAFTA does those like Q&As with the nominees like per category, and only he and Benedict did the actor one, which is like hilarious. Like everyone else was just like hard pass.
Joyce,
like I didn't expect Leo to do it, but like no one else did it.
No. Supporting actress, and I already lost the nominees here. Let's see. Katrina Balfe for Belfast, Jessie Buckley for Lost Daughter, Ariana DeBose for West Side Story, Ann Dowd for Mass, Anjanae Ellis for King Richard, and Ruth Negga for Passing. Great list of nominees. I think we talked about this. We talked about this on Friday. I think Ariana is the obvious pick, and I have her winning. But I think if there's going to be an upset, we could see it here from either Anjanae Ellis or Jessie Buckley, I would argue. I
would say Jessie. Actually, I need to like update this because I did this February 4th. I have Katrina in second.
I have Jessie in second, and I'm going to keep her there. But I just think that I don't think Ariana's going to lose.
I'm going to move Jessie to second. Because now because I did this before Oscar nomination, obviously. Right. But now I think like Jessie was probably top two. Because she did get nominated here for Wild Rose 2 years ago when it was like the old system. So I think she has a lot of support there in general. And obviously she made the Oscars as well.
Right.
And yeah, but I think people are trying to pick like an upset here, and I guess it could happen. But also, even if Ariana loses, I think she's still winning the Oscar. I think this is just going to be like the sweeper of the season.
We talked about this in our column last week, but it does feel like we're looking for a reason to pick against her because she's the obvious.
Because it'll be
favorite.
More fun too, like, and you have more to talk about because we never talk about this category.
But also, like, she's so good at it, it's hard to predict an upset. And even here, I'm like, I don't think she's going to lose. Even with BAFTA not really responding to West Side Story, I don't think she's going to lose. I just think that people are going to, just going to push her in and she's going to win. But I guess we'll see. I do think I could see Anjanae winning also. I guess we talked about that. But
you were basing that off of like 2 anonymous votes to her one.
Yes. There was a Screen Daily, like anonymous voters, and everybody who in those things were like, either we really liked Anjanae Ellis or I'm going to vote for Anjanae Ellis. Nobody picked Ariana DeBose, but it was like,
no, she got one vote. She got one. There were 6 votes, and Anjanae got 2, and everyone else got 1, basically.
Anjanae got 2 and also mentioned in a third. So I was like, that's like,
but she didn't get the vote. Okay, Ruth got that vote.
But I'm just saying, she was mentioned a lot.
Ruth would also be a great pick. And I think if she had gotten the Oscar nomination, she could be a sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if they'll go for a non-Oscar nominee in a general vote. So
this was talked about, like, a lot of, I think Scott Feinberg was complaining about this when the nominations were announced, that like BAFTA's lost its like predictive precursor luster because of the juries and because they like moved everything around. I don't think it has either, but I also think the fact is they're kind of, it's a little bit, they're free from having to, like, like we were saying yesterday, like the Critics' Choice Awards want to be predictive of the Oscars. I don't think BAFTA.
Yeah, that's what they brag about, like even on their shows.
And I don't think BAFTA needs to be, and now maybe is moving further and further away from needing to be. So then in that case, you could say like none of these wins matter, but none of them matter from like affecting the Oscars perhaps, but that means they could go and do Anjanae Ellis or Ruth Negga or somebody here who is not going to win just because they like that performance.
Anjanae would, in theory, affect the Oscars because she's nominated at the Oscars.
True.
But no, I like, like a lot of people think because of these nominations, like, or BAFTA's new system, that BAFTA is now irrelevant. And like, no, it's not irrelevant. Like, if it may be irrelevant to you because you might not be able to use it that much anymore to predict the Oscars if that was the only reason you were looking at the BAFTAs. But it's a 75-year-old award show. They've been honoring film for 75 years now. And it only became an Oscar precursor 21 years ago. It used to happen after the Oscars, and they did their own thing all the time. Like they didn't award Titanic.
Well, we talked about it for West Side Story. They did it the following years, and they gave
because it was released a year later, and there were like 18 nominees for Best Film that year. But one of like my favorite BAFTA wins was when they gave director to Baz Luhrmann for Romeo and Juliet. Like they used to do their own thing, and even when like they became a precursor like earlier this century, a lot of their nominees and winners were not Oscar nominees. And like their picks were still different, and it's only like more recently it's become aligned, and that's also because the season became shorter and shorter, and then people just start like rubber stamping. There's more award shows, so then when you have like mass people voting, they just vote for the same people. So, but it's like I think if you're an award show, you should just vote for your favorite, like who you think is the best. Like don't copy people. Like.
Also, like if you're going by last year, BAFTA was like canary in a coal mine for Frances McDormand and Anthony Hopkins. So
yeah, it went 8 for 8 in the top.
So it definitely is relevant. And like if Anjanae Ellis wins, I think we would take that seriously. You're right. But like they could vote for Ruth Negga or Jessie Buckley here. Even if Jessie Buckley won, I don't have like I think there's a chance Anjanae Ellis could win at the Oscars, I guess. But like if Jessie Buckley,
are you going off the applause at the luncheon on Monday?
But if Jessie Buckley won here, I wouldn't be like, oh, she's a major threat to winning at the Oscars. I think it would not.
I think that would also maybe help Olivia Colman.
Right.
More.
Right.
So
supporting actor Joyce. We have the nominees were Mike Feist. Hell yeah. Kieran Hins for Belfast, Troy Kotzer for Coda, Woody Norman, come on, Jesse Plemons, Power of the Dog, Cody Smith-McPhee, The Power of the Dog. I'm sticking with Cody, but I really, really want to switch to Troy. My rationale is that Troy got nominated here at all. It makes me think
he was always going to get nominated in a jury.
I guess so, but I'm just like, I don't know. Like
I don't think he was top 2. I think he was a jury pick.
I think the fact that he's here means he could. I mean, obviously he could win. He's a nominee, but I'm just like, will he actually win? I don't know. The love for Coda was obviously not as broad here. So, and like we said, Power of the Dog is going to win Best Picture or Best Film. I think Cody could win here. I still think Troy will end up winning at the Oscars, but I think this is a spot where Cody could win.
Troy would need to win this to like completely lock it up. Because it's the opposite for Cody. Like for Cody, SAG was always going to be his hardest. So not a surprise that he lost there. And BAFTA was always going to be harder for Troy, just it's like the lack of support for Coda. Like it didn't even make the editing long list, just like King Richard.
Right.
If he is like the SAG just proved that like he is win competitive, but he would need to win here to just lock it up completely. And it's not the same. I think I mentioned this last week. Like, I don't think it's the same as Yoo Jung-yoon last year, because I always felt like she was winning BAFTA and the Oscars and this, like, she's more like Cody, where like SAG was harder for her. And once she won SAG, I was like, she's just definitely going all the way now.
Exactly.
So like she has more in common with Cody because they were like the critic sweepers.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just dominated the critics.
Yeah, for sure.
And their films also, they have more nominations for the films, like that are well received. So yeah, Troy need to win this, but I'm gonna stick with Cody. And then also, Troy did not have to beat Kieran Hines at SAG because he wasn't nominated.
Right.
So he has to face up against him here, and this is his, home turf, quote unquote. I don't really see, where do I even have him?
I actually have Troy in second, but I could see Kieran being second.
I have Kieran. I have Mike in third. Yeah, I'm gonna keep Mike in third. I have Troy in fourth. I should move up Troy. Maybe I would put Troy in second, and then I'm gonna keep my guy Mike Feist in third, because this is the last thing I can do for him.
Go for it.
He's my
And
guy.
he's so good. I still can't believe he wasn't nominated.
Just the abject failure of everyone except the Bafta jury to nominate him this year. He should be winning.
That's going to be one of those, again, where you just watch the movie in like a year or two and are just like, what the hell?
When people are watching it now, I can't tell you how annoying it is.
Oh my God.
I watched it with my friends this weekend because they hadn't seen it. They were part of the problem because I told them to watch it.
What a miss.
And like they watched Spider-Man. They went to the theater to watch Spider-man. So it wasn't even like they're not
going to the theater, right?
And then they were like, we'll just wait until.
Also, if you were worried about Omicron surge, no one was going to see West Side Story. The theaters are relatively empty, so you'd have like way better.
I know, you have it all to yourself.
You have it mostly to yourself. It's not like Spider-Man where you're packed.
I know. And then so then we watched it on Saturday, and then like my friend was like he's winning, right? I was like, he's not even nominated. Okay,
it's like you don't know performance.
The pain for me. Like we've been talking about this for 3 months. But yeah, he was, he's my guy. I decided after I saw it in November, like I want him to win. I'll support him unconditionally. So this is the last thing I can do. I'm keeping him in third, putting him on the podium.
It's great. Get a medal.
Yeah, so that's my top 3.
Right. Joyce, best original screenplay next. The nominees are super. This is like strong December, January energy. Being the Ricardos, Aaron Sorkin, Kenneth Branagh, Belfast, Don't Look Up, Adam McKay, King Richard, Zach Balan, and Licorice Pizza from Paul Thomas Anderson. I have Licorice Pizza winning here, even though yesterday when we talked about the Critics' Choice Awards, I was like, I think Belfast is going to win the Oscars, and I think Belfast could win at the Critics' Choice Awards. I'm sticking with Licorice Pizza just because I thought it was a really strong BAFTA nominee. Obviously, like they did more. This group liked Licorice Pizza more than anyone this side of me, seemingly. So I think it's going to win. I would not be surprised if Belfast won. I have it in second. I don't know. I just think this is like a spot for PTA to win.
I put Licorice Pizza in first, and I don't know if I'm going to move it. Yeah. I see. I think Belfast is probably first in the odds here, right? Likely.
I don't have the odds. Hold on.
But
let maybe vamp a little bit while I look at these odds.
I think when I did these, I was like, oh, they really like PTA and like Licorice Pizza, because he's the only white dude and director, and that was in a jury.
So in our combined odds, it's actually incredibly close. Licorice Pizza is in first. Belfast is in second, but it's less than 200 votes separating the two. It's got to be the closest category we have right now.
Yeah, I might just keep him. I think so. The last couple winners here at BAFTA. So last year was Promising Young Woman, and then Parasite, and then The Favorite, which did not win the Oscar, as we know.
Truly criminal, because The Favorite's one of the funniest movies of the last 5 years. So funny.
Yeah, so that's also like, very British.
What was the movie that won that year, Joyce? Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. The initials are GB, but not Green Bay.
Yeah, no, I remember it now. Yeah. Great script. Real crackerjack.
So I guess, yeah, so like you could say like The Favorite was, always going to do well at BAFTA because British. And I guess you could say the same for Belfast.
I just get the sense from their past winners that they go with the more challenging original screenplay usually, or like, and again, not to like besmirch Belfast, and I think it's a really personal work, but I think there's like
Licorice Pizza is also personal, not.
Yeah. Licorice Pizza just feels like more of, if you're putting like the last 3, like you said, like Promising Woman, Parasite, and The Favorite, Licorice Pizza fits more comfortably with those than Belfast, I guess I would argue.
Yeah, the other thing is, so I guess like because of the month-long vote, it's also like when did they vote for this? And like, were they also reacting, even though they shouldn't be, were they also reacting to the Oscar nominees?
Right.
And also, how like Licorice Pizza only got 3, all for PTA.
Right.
But
and also Belfast, they liked here also. I mean, like, so I would not be surprised if it won. It feels like a coin flip, but we'll see. I think this is a big weekend for this category, because we'll see from the Critics' Choice in here, we could end up with a split where Belfast wins at Critics' Choice and Licorice Pizza wins here. And then, kind of really going into the Oscars a little unclear, but I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I What if like Don't Look Up wins?
I would not be shocked because it did really well, but I just think that they're going to stick with one of the two obvious ones. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stick with Licorice Pizza, but Power adapted screenplay, Joyce. This one is another fun one. The nominees were Sean Hayter for Coda, Rasuke Hamaguchi, Drive My Car, Eric Roth, John Spates, and Denis Villeneuve for Dune, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Lost Daughter, and Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog. I'm going to, at the Oscars, I still think Maggie Gyllenhaal will win, but I'm going to go Power of the Dog here as well. I just think it's a stronger play for BAFTA, and I'm going to keep it up. So Jane will win here. What do you got?
I have Power of the Dog right now, but I'm actually considering switching to Drive My Car.
Wow, nice. So that would be a good spot for Drive My Car. Predicting the upset, I believe in our odds it's in third. So
like I actually can see that winning the Oscar, and I think it's like fourth in the Oscar odds. But I don't know if like how many people have like caught up to it at BAFTA, like since the nominations. Maybe they have, because it got 4 Oscar nominations as well.
I think that's a good way to think about it, right? Like it was made so much noise. It was like, this was a critical sensation at the time of the BAFTA nominations and a dark horse contender for Oscar potential. And then now it's got 4 Oscar nominations in 4 major categories, and people were definitely paying attention to that and like taking note of the fact that they need to watch it, or the one that they need to catch up on because they hadn't seen it compared to the other movies. So it is possible that it had a late push, and maybe it's top of mind because it's the last one people watched.
And then the other thing is, like, I don't know, like we said, Power of the Dog was stronger at the Oscars than here. So I don't know if the film is also strong enough to win like picture, directing, maybe 1 or 2 acting awards and screenplay. Like I don't, because that's what I have right now, and I don't think that's happening. So I think I should go off. Maybe I'll do Drive My Car.
I mean, that'd be pretty good. You're making a case for it. I'm not going to switch, but you're making a strong case for it. If we right now we have it winning picture, director, screenplay, and at least 1 acting nomination for me, and I think you have 2. So
yeah, like I don't think that's happening.
No, I don't think so either. So I have Will winning, and I have it winning not for actor. So maybe that's my loss for it, and you have it winning here. You have Drive My Car losing here instead of winning an actor. So not the most unlikely scenario.
I know, and I think I think people are just starting to doubt the screenplay win for it in general because, like, you know, it lost scripter, and everything. But also, like, WGA is coming up, but like most of these films are not eligible there, so it's kind of not, you know.
I just don't think it's going to win at the Oscars because, like we said, I just think there's no real need for it to win. Jane Campion's already going to win director and picture, and obviously they could vote for their favorite if it's their favorite script, they'll vote for it. But I just think they don't think that way sometimes, voters, and it's like, well, I want to spread the wealth, and there are other movies.
I don't even know like how many people think that way about spreading the wealth, because if they like something, I think they'll just vote for it. Because maybe. I think that was kind of the logic people were using 7 years ago when like Birdman won everything, like, you know, Alejandro like Inarritu, you know, won screenplay, directing, and picture,
right? And
Wes Anderson won nothing for himself for Grand Budapest Hotel,
right?
And Boyhood, you know, like Richard Linklater won nothing himself. So like those 2 guys went home empty-handed, and True. Alejandro won 3. So like if they like it, they don't care. Whereas like 2 years later, you know, like the top 3 films that year were La La Land, Moonlight, and Manchester by the Sea, and each of those guys, like Damien Chazelle, Barry Jenkins, and Kevin Lonergan, each won an Oscar.
Right.
So I think it's just like they pick whatever they think is best, or like their favorite there. And it just so happens that year it spread the wealth.
Maybe right.
But again, like I don't know if like Power of the Dog here is strong enough to
win all those awards.
Like screenplay, directing, and picture, and then like 1 or 2 acting.
Right. I mean, we'll see. I like that Drive My Car pick. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to switch because I'm going to let you have it if it wins. But that was good. That's a good prediction, I think. Cinematography, Joyce, is next. The nominees are Dune, So Greg Fraser, Nightmare Alley, Dan Lautzen, No Time to Die, Lena Sandgren, Power of the Dog, Ari Wegner, and Tragedy Macbeth, Bruno Debanel. I'm actually going to go with Dune here with Greg Fraser.
Yeah, I can see Dune doing really well here. I think I have it winning almost every below the line thing.
Yeah, I actually think if there's an upset here, it could be No Time to Die with Lena Sandgren.
Yeah, I think that could also, it's in sound, right? I think that could also win sound.
Yep.
Yeah.
Moving on, the next one, Joyce, was production design. The nominees were Cyrano, Dune, French Dispatch, Nightmare Alley, and West Side Story. Represent. I got Cruella. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, production design. Hang on. I messed up on my list here. That's fine. Production design. Those are the nominees. I have Nightmare Alley winning still. I don't know. I think I should switch to Dune, but I'm going to go down with the Nightmare Alley ship. I'm going to go down with the ship.
Okay. I think I can see Dune doing like a 1917 and just like winning almost everything.
Yep.
Except like makeup and hair.
Yep.
And costumes.
Well, costume is next. We can do that one.
Yeah.
Cruella, Cyrano, Dune, French Dispatch, Nightmare Alley. I have Cruella here, but I've actually thought of switching to Dune as well, just because I think it's going to do well. I don't think it. I feel
if Dune wins costume design.
Yeah, I think Cruella will win though. I have Cruella, and I'm assuming you do as well.
Yeah. So there, it's probably just gonna sweep the whole. The costume guilds are tonight on Wednesday, so I'll probably win that as well.
Next up was film editing. And I gotta find that one. Boy, next time, nominees for Belfast, Dune, Licorice Pizza, No Time to Die, and Summer of Soul, which is a cool nominee.
Great nomination.
Really fun. I have Dune winning again.
Yes, I'm telling you, I have Dune for everything.
And I have Belfast in runner-up spot, but we'll see. It wasn't even nominated.
I have No Time to Die.
Not a bad play. I think No Time to Die is going to do pretty well, or could do pretty well. And then makeup and hair. The nominees were Cruella, Cyrano, Dune, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and House of Gucci. I don't know, Joyce. I kind of think Dune. I don't think Cruella. I don't think Eyes of Tammy Faye is like maybe connected with.
It's not like very British.
I think it's going to win the Oscars. Right. I actually think Dune or House of Gucci could win here. So I have Dune winning and House of Gucci in second.
I apparently picked House of Gucci in February, but I'm going to change that. I don't know if I should just go Dune all the way or do Tammy Faye.
I don't know. I just feel like Tammy Faye, it didn't really rate here. It's obviously like really incredible makeup.
I mean, like what else would have like been nominated? Like I just wasn't going to be a jury pick really.
Right.
Like this was its only like general nomination.
Right. I don't know. I just am like, I don't know.
Yeah. So like last year was Ma Rainey, that one. And then Bombshell was the year before. So, and then I don't remember, it was 2018. I don't think Vice won here because that won the Oscar, but I don't think it won. Let me see. I don't know. Am I like a Dune sweep is so boring? Should I just pick Dune?
I mean, I think so. Wait, the next one we're going to do Dune also. It's score.
Makeup and hair 3 years ago was the favorite here.
Yeah.
Over Vice. So, and then Darkest Hour before that, which makes sense.
Right.
And then Florence Foster Jenkins the year before that. Wow.
I mean, based on those winners, I would say House of Gucci actually is going to probably win. Just
they did like Gucci a lot more over there than we did here. So
and I think just based on the types, I think that House of Gucci could win. I'm actually putting in. I'm switching my pick to House of Gucci.
Yeah, House of Gucci.
I'm going up. Boof. I just did.
We were just like, it's not going to win, and then
now I'm doing it. It's in. I got
what a wild turn of events in like 2 minutes.
Well, you come at me with the context and the information instead of my.
But I just look up the previous winners.
Yeah, that's much better for me just coming it up off the dome extemporaneously like an idiot. Putting actual thought into this would help. But no.
I don't know. I'll just do Dune for now. I might change it before Sunday. I don't know.
All right, well, here's another Dune one, and then we'll have two more Dune ones after this, I believe. But the nominees for best score were, whatever. Dune is going to win. Hang on, let me find the score here. But it is, why is it so hard? There it is.
I think it's just called music because they don't have a song category.
Being the Ricardos, our boy Pemberton. Don't Look Up, Nikki Bertel. Dune for Hans Zimmer. Alexandra Desplat for French Dispatch. And Power of the Dog, Johnny Greenwood. But Dune, Hans Zimmer, I have winning.
Yeah. Although Dune lost yesterday at the Society of Lyricists.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music guild. So to Encanto, great win. Yeah. But that's not nominated here.
No.
So yeah, I have Power of the Dog in second. And then
for best sound, Joyce, there's another Dune classic. The nominees were Dune, Last Night in Soho, No Time to Die, A Quiet Place Part 2, and West Side Story. I have Dune winning as well.
Same. So congratulations to Dune.
And then best visual effects, Dune, Ghostbusters, Dune, Free Guy, Ghostbusters, Matrix Resurrections, and No Time to Die. And congratulations again to Dune, which I have winning.
How many are we predicting for Dune?
I have at least 6, right? I mean, like, there's a lot.
There is a lot. I feel like I should change them. Maybe I'll change makeup and hair.
Yeah, go to Gucci. Go back to Gucci.
Why are you telling me to predict the same as you?
I don't know. So we both lose. That's great. This one I love, best casting at BAFTA.
They need that at the Oscars.
We keep saying that, they really do. This is the
nominees. The casting directors have their own branch, but they don't have their own category.
I know. They were Boiling Point, which is the Stephen Graham film, Dune, The Hand of God, King Richard, and West Side Story. I have West Side Story, but I actually think Boiling Point might win.
Yeah. So where is it? I lost it completely. Casting. Yeah. So I have West Side Story and then Boiling Point in second. We don't have enough history in this category yet to really know what they're doing. Right. So I don't know. We know, like we said, West Side Story predictably was not huge over there. And then these nominations were juried. So I always felt good about West Side Story getting in.
Right.
But now everyone is voting for the winners. So this is the third year of the category. So last year, Rocks won, British film.
Yep.
And then the first year, Joker won.
Right.
over Marriage Story, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Personal History of David Copperfield, and The Two Popes. And then last year, Rocks won over Calm with Horses, Judas and the Black Messiah, Minari, and Promising Young Woman.
Right. So not the most, based on that very limited history, not the
yeah. So you just have to go your own way here. Trust your instincts.
I think I'm going to do Boiling Point. I just feel like the West Side. I guess the case for West Side Story and casting as well. The BAFTA did not really warm to the film. They did nominate,
but it's the casting is so important to the film,
and they nominated 2 of the actors. So
which was also juried.
Sure.
I would feel a lot better about West Side Story winning. It's outside of Ariana, winning some of these categories. If the winner voting were juried. So
what about what about the fact that we're overlooking Dune, which has a best?
I think Dune could, if it's super, it could be a Joker win.
I mean, I actually might put it in first just because it's going to win so much, and it was the best film nominee, and obviously people really liked it. And while none of the individual cast members would rate as a nominee just because of screen time and whatever, it is an incredible cast of actors, and they're all really well cast. So I could see Dune winning.
Yeah, I guess my casting Dune, I guess, is just, for me, I feel like it was, a lot of famous people. And then it's just getting those famous people. Whereas, something like West Side Story, which is also huge studio production, but it's finding the right people for those roles, which I think is somewhat more important than just casting like famous people
Mhm.
into these characters, like
Right.
for Dune. And also different than something like Boiling Point.
True.
So, and even like King Richard, like finding like the right people, like Sanaya Sidney, An Amazing Venus, my favorite performance in that film. Like that's also, a casting triumph, like finding people to play Venus and Serena. Because like Will Smith was always like he got the movie rolling, right? Like he was cast as Richard, and then it's like finding these other people. So
it's a great category. I've seen people like kind of dunk on, or like when we were talking about like adding categories, I've seen like people being like, casting is stupid. Like who cares?
Casting
like,
is so important.
But it's so important because like even if you're thinking, oh, because you're gonna have like, the most famous people, like how hard is it to cast Once Upon a Time in Hollywood if you have Brad Pitt and Leo?
Yeah, but like actually, that's not the casting. It's like casting the people around the A-listers, like around the leads, if they're the ones like already getting the picture in motion. And
it's also like the A-listers, the chemistry of the A-listers actually does matter too. I do think there is a talent to putting together super famous people, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I could argue that like Don't Look Up, while I enjoy the film a lot, maybe more than most people seemingly did, I don't know that the casting totally works because it does feel a little top heavy, and maybe I would have done not Meryl Streep or in there, or not even Leo in there, because it does Leo mesh with J-Law in a way that she needs to, or all those different things. It is a tricky thing to think about for casting. So I do love that category. Hopefully the Oscars actually add that, maybe in the wake of
they'll add it and then they'll announce it in the pre-show.
Yeah, maybe they can announce it on Twitter. Hashtag casting fan favorites.
So
animated film, Joyce, the nominees were Encanto, Flea, Luca, and The Mitchells versus the Machines. I have Encanto winning here.
Yeah. Although they've have gone their own way sometimes here, but I think Encanto being, a huge hit and like a recent hit as well, I think it can win. So
yeah, I mean, I guess if you're gonna say what's gonna win here, the case, you could make the case for Flea again, I guess, if it's like or even Luca maybe, but I think, like you said, Encanto,
I think like Encanto stole all Luca's steam.
Yeah, I think Encanto feels like kind of like a foregone conclusion. But documentary, Joyce, the nominees were Becoming Cousteau, Cow, Flea, The Rescue, and Summer of Soul. And I have Summer of Soul winning mostly because it's the front runner at the Oscars, and also it was nominated for editing here. So I feel like there is a
great choice. We need to normalize nominating non-narrative films in other categories.
Oh yeah,
so
it'd be great. What do you think here? Any upset picks? I mean,
I have Flea in second.
Same. Could see it winning, but I don't think it will. Let me see. The next one is film non in English language, and the nominees are Drive My Car, Hand of God, Parallel Mothers, Petite Maman, and The Worst Person in the World. Nice list of nominees, but I have Drive My Car winning here. Seemingly is the favorite to win.
Yeah, like this could be Drive My Car's only win if it doesn't win adapted or director here, but I have that winning.
And I think it's gonna win. I mean, that would be a shock if it didn't win.
Yeah, like I think especially since they've been voting for the last month and it got 4 Oscar nominations. So
outstanding British film, Joyce, and don't forget we're going to go back to Best Actress, so we still get to do that if you're watching this.
The most important category.
What are they going to end with? We're going to end with Best Actress. We're pulling a Soderbergh and ending this with Best Actress. So the nominees for Best British Film were After Love, Ali and Ava, Belfast, Boiling Point, Cyrano, Everybody's Talking About Jamie, House of Gucci, Last Night in Soho, No Time to Die, and Passing. I have Belfast winning.
Yes, and I have No Time to Die in second.
Same. And then I have Ali and Ava and After Love kind of in third and fourth.
Yeah. So is this going to be the only thing Belfast wins here? Because that's what I have right now.
So that's what I have too. But I think, like I said, I think it could win script. So we'll see, I guess. But I don't know. I do think it's going to win Best British Film, though. It just feels like.
Yeah, I think like this is locked for it. I think. What was the last one? I think Three Billboards was the last one to win British Film and Best Picture. So, yeah. That also did better, like in one other stuff as well, obviously for Frances McDormand and Sam Rockwell. But yeah, I think this is Belfast's, and it could be maybe its only win at BAFTA, which would be kind of weird. Because also it's doing well at the box office there, not surprisingly. And it opened like late because it opened in January, whereas it's already been out here since November. But so I don't know how much that affects things, that it's doing well there. And I don't even know if like it's like kind of died down at all. I just know like it opened well.
Joyce, finally, the Rising Star Award. This one is voted for by the public.
And I think voting closes tomorrow.
The nominees were Ariana DeBose, Harris Dickinson, Lashana Lynch, Millicent Simmons, and Cody Smith McPhee. And on the account of appearing in 007, No Time to Die, I have Lashana Lynch winning.
I actually have Harris Dickinson.
Wow, nice. Explain. Who is Harris Dickinson? Let's start there.
I can't really, because
what is he in?
He was in he's in the Kingsman, obviously, right. and the Souvenir Part 2. That was his 2021, but he was nominated at, I think, Indie Spirits a couple years ago for Beach Rats.
That's right.
But I think I don't know, like I don't know how like the British public votes. So I kind of feel like sometimes like the obvious choice to us isn't the winner necessarily. So because I remember like a couple years ago, I think it was like 2 years ago, it was like Awkwafina and like Caitlin Dever and like Jack Lowden and like they all lost.
Right.
But then you have people like John Boyega winning. I think like Tom Holland's won, Daniel Kaluuya's won. I think Daniel Kaluuya is the only one who's won this and an actual competitive BAFTA. So I don't know. I don't think Ariana or Cody are winning. Not just because like they might win their competitive category.
Correct.
But yeah, I think Lashana can definitely win, especially because No Time to Die did so well there. But I don't know. I think I've like learned not to go with the obvious pick. So that's why I'm going with Harris.
All right. Joyce, you ready to do Best Actress?
Not really, but yeah.
Let's do it. So the nominees were Lady Gaga for House of Gucci, Alana Haim for Licorice Pizza, Amelia Jones for Coda, Renate Reinsve for Worst Person in the World, Joanna Scanlon for After Love, and Tessa Thompson for Passing. What a great list of nominees.
It is a great list, and not just being facetious here.
No, like, it's awesome.
Great list. I need more things to go 0 for 5 or 0 for 6, I guess, here with the Oscars, because they don't feel the pressure to pick the Oscar nominee at all, or to like, quote unquote predict the Oscars.
Joyce, I have Joanna Scanlon winning.
I am torn between Joanna right now and Renate Reinsve.
So I believe Renate is the consensus pick in our odds for sure. Let's say she is definitely winning, with Lady Gaga less than 100 votes behind her in second, and then Alana Haim and Joanna Scanlon, followed by Amelia Jones and Tessa Thompson. I guess my thinking for After Love and Joanna Scanlon is that it's a British production. It did really well here nominations wise in multiple categories seemingly that we've talked about. And with free from, like we said, having to predict the Oscars or pick a nominee or whatever, I think it's just like British people voting for things they like, and that'll be After Love. And Joanna Scanlon, Worst Person in the World, also did pretty well here. But I'm not sure. I just think that this is a spot for perhaps Joanna Scanlon. So you're between the two of them. What about Lady Gaga? Can you see a world where she actually wins?
Yes. So like the reason I'm kind of torn between the two of them, Joanna and Renate, and then also on a lesser level, Gaga and Alana, because those two are the most Oscar adjacent of this lineup, right? So I don't know how these people are voting for the past month, like they started voting after Oscar nominations, so they see, oh, like none of these people match, and so then like are they just gonna vote for the people who were closest to getting an Oscars, like Gaga and Alana?
Well,
or are they actually gonna go with their heart, as the Belfast tagline is?
Right.
Like,
they liked obviously Licorice Pizza a lot. That was the
yeah,
reason.
and they all like House of Gucci also did better there than here.
So those are early days. I was like, oh, maybe Alana actually could win here because, they liked her. They liked the movie. But I don't know. I just feel like this is a spot where we're going to be like watching it on Twitter and Joanna Scalen's going to win and people are going to be like, who? What?
Oh, definitely people are going to be like, who? So yeah, so then I guess the other thing is like, I don't know, just because obviously Gaga and Alana are from bigger movies. Like, does their visibility help them more in a popular vote, like ahead of someone, even though like After Love was like a really successful overseas, like in Britain, and she got raves and she won the British Independent Film Award, which is also why I'm like leaning more towards her, the Joanna, I mean. So I don't know if like Gaga and Alana's visibilities, like their films visibilities, help them more, like does that give them a leg up with a general vote over like Joanna?
I don't know. I feel like it could, like, you could literally make the case for 4 or 5 of these people winning.
I think I'm going to put Tessa last, unfortunately, even though I really liked her in passing. I don't know what I'm going to do. Should I just make my top 2? I think I'm going to do Joanna and Renate. I might change this a lot before Sunday.
Sure. I mean, Renate would make a lot of sense. The movie people love, and they loved her performance. And I think she's, got a lot of support, but I just feel like this is like a Joanna Scanlon upset win or whatever.
Is it even an upset though?
Well,
I guess if you're not really like following this closely, you don't know what After Love is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about Amelia Jones, who
Boy, I really thought of her, actually. I thought she could.
Who's also British.
She's also British, and she's great performance, and I wish she would have gotten an Oscar nomination for sure. I don't understand how she didn't, honestly. But I don't know. I would be surprised. I just don't, like we talked about yesterday, Coda feels like basic American red meat. And I don't know.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Again, a remake of a French film.
I just don't know if it like is gonna, if the BAFTA voters would respond to it as well as like American audiences have. But
yeah, it's very American, and I think she was definitely a jury pick for this. So the other thing after Oscar nominations, because I think when we were reacted to the BAFTA nominations, we're like, oh, like Gaga and Alana were top 2. But now I actually think top 2 was like Joanna and Gaga.
Yeah.
Like I can see like Alana being a jury pick.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
So honestly. I don't know. I guess like depending on the result, what do you think it would say about how BAFTA votes in the absence of an Oscar nominee?
I think it would say that they're voting what they like the most. Like, I think that's just what it's going to come down to. Either the actress that they like the most or the performance that they like the most. So if it's like Gaga or Alana, you don't think it's because they were closest to Oscar? No, I don't think so at all. I think it's just that they like those movies more than Oscar voters did. Those movies were well liked there. Like House of Gucci and Licorice Pizza did really well. Yeah. And that to me just means that they were like the audience, the BAFTA voter, enjoy those movies more than the Oscar voters. So that's why they would pick, not because it's like Oscar adjacent to me. Like House of Gucci is not really Oscar adjacent. It got 1 nomination. No, but like she was the closest to right. I see what nomination, and she was the only one who hit all the precursors. Right. Yeah. I see what you mean, but I don't think it matters. I know. I'm trying to think who was like the last BAFTA winner who wasn't an Oscar nominee, because this is the first time, obviously, that none of the nominees are nominated at Oscars. But who was the last BAFTA winner to win that wasn't an Oscar nominee? I think it was Tandy Newton for Crash. Right. But also that year,
they put Rachel Weisz, who like won the Oscar, in lead at BAFTA, and she lost to these. So I guess they had like nowhere to go. Yeah, because like Rachel Weisz was nominated for both, obviously, when she won, and Regina wasn't nominated here. Oh, you know what? It's one of my favorite BAFTA winners.
Which one?
Like ever. Bill Nye in supporting actor for Love Actually. Just like they need to do more of this. This is what they need to do. BAFTA again, early like 2000s when they became a precursor, but they were still doing their own thing with like their inspired picks. He was obviously not nominated to Oscars, but he beat the eventual Oscar winner Tim Robbins. Paul Bettany was also nominated that year for Master and Commander, and they gave Peter Weir director for Master and Commander that year. Like, do more of this, BAFTA. You don't need to predict the Oscars. So this category, like you could do that, but yeah, more Bill Nyes. And see, Mike Weiss can be the Bill Nye of the year.
I mean, that'd be great. I don't think it's gonna happen, but
no, I would feel a lot like better about his chances to win if it was juried, but I don't trust the masses. But he should be the Bill Nye of the year. Yeah, but like so they can do that here. Oh, they're forced to do that here, obviously.
Right.
I guess I'll do it to Joanna, I guess, for now.
Yeah, I think Joanna's good. I could see that happening. But
wait, is she? So wait, Renate is first in the odds. Where's
Yeah.
Joanna?
No, Renate and Lady Gaga are first and second, and it's pretty close.
Okay. I also feel like people haven't really updated BAFTA, so.
No, I don't think so either. But if you're watching this, you could go right now and update it on goldderby.com.
But don't copy us because we have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah, no, don't copy us, but like do pick Joanna Scanlon. I mean, come on, like that'll be.
But you don't want if we're right, we don't want more people to be right.
Oh yeah, don't pick Joanna Scanlon. Pick somebody else. We're wrong.
This is why I never encourage people to copy me. Because they can't also be right, and then they can't blame me if they get it wrong.
Right. Joyce, anything else here before we wrap up? Those are the BAFTA awards. What else this weekend? DGA.
Well, this morning, in another chapter of the 8 categories.
Oh yes, I forgot.
Yeah, we got a letter.
An open letter this morning on Wednesday morning it's signed by James Cameron, John Williams, and Kathleen Kennedy, sent to the Academy leadership, and David Rubin, that basically asked them straight up to reverse the decision to remove the presentation of the 8 awards from the live telecast. I don't think they're going to reverse the decision, Joyce.
They've been kind of clear that they're not gonna do that, or at least ostensibly that's the party line. I guess it could still change in the next 2 weeks if more. I think we need more high profile people to come out and do this.
So we've had high profile filmmakers: Guillermo del Toro, Jane Campion, Denis Villeneuve, Steven Spielberg.
We need like actors.
James Cameron. We need the actual actors. The acting. If this is going to get changed over, it needs to be like the 20 nominees or as many of them as possible.
Or just A-listers in general. Like you don't even have to be a nominee.
I think it would say a lot though if the nominees banded together and said like,
yeah, for sure.
We're either gonna go in, we're gonna be in the auditorium at 7 for the ceremony, which is not what ABC wants because they want them on the red carpet between 7 and 8. Or you're gonna have to change it or something. I don't know if we'll get to that point though. I just don't know obviously this is a sore spot for the categories affected, and for the filmmakers certainly are like standing behind their teams. Like Steven Spielberg has got nominees who will be potentially winners or not, but they're nominated and their categories will not be on the live broadcast. So of course he's going to like make a statement about this, and same with Jane, and same with Denis Villeneuve and Guillermo del Toro. But yeah, I don't know. Will you see the actors come together and say something? Will that be tomorrow, Thursday or Friday morning? Or the actors going to put out a statement that are like
they're writing their letter right now? It's taking them 2 weeks to write their letter.
And even if they do, will anything change at the Oscars luncheon?
I could see more letters coming out. I think so. Like last time when this happened, the huge letter was from ASC. And that was signed not just by the cinematographers, but a ton of super famous people, like actors and all that. It was like hundreds. And then they kept like adding more names to it. So that the people signing it. So I think we need something like that. I don't it's great and all that we have this letter from James Cameron and the music branch, obviously. because they're the ones also affected, so that's also expected. And there was also reports that the score nominees were talking about like boycotting, right?
Right.
But yeah, I don't know if that's enough to make waves, because they're already being treated, as they say in the letter, like second-class citizens.
Correct.
By them, you know.
I get the feeling that even if the actors came out and denounced it, I think they're going to just push ahead and say, we're trying it this year. It doesn't mean it's going to happen next year, and like see what happens. I actually wonder what the Academy even wants, because clearly this is like an ABC was like,
it's an ABC order.
It's ABC order. I think that was in the Scott Feinberg piece. They were like, you have to remove 12 categories or we're going to just cancel the Oscars, which it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, that's 100% a bluff. And then the Oscars just like coward.
So then they did 8 categories, obviously, instead of 12, and they're not going to cancel the Oscars. But
also they can't cancel, like all ABC would do was just stop carrying the Oscars. You can still find a new home.
Right. So that to me means they're going to, at least it makes sense for the Academy leadership, while have to push forward and try it, because if whatever happens with the show, then they could say, as a data point next year when they're talking to ABC about production, they could say, well, we made the entire Hollywood community irate. Most of our core audiences were very upset with the decision, as they talked about on social media for 3 weeks. And in the end, we only added 1 million viewers up from last year. Perhaps we should think about another way to reframe this or something. I could see them like wanting to actually do it now, to just get the data and then have at least a case to make for ABC, because ABC could sit there and say, the ratings are terrible. They've dropped 3 of the last 4 years. We understand no one's watching live.
Everything is terrible.
Yeah, everything is bad now. Nobody watches live shows, but whatever. And you have to try something because we're your broadcast partner. So at least then the Oscars could say, we tried something, it didn't work either. So like there is a world where it makes sense to me, but I don't know. I mean, like it's going to be an awkward event. What I could see happening is if the actors do come out against it, I still don't think it'll change. And then on the show, I wonder if the winners will like make, like if Jessica Chastain wins Best Actress and the hair and makeup team from Tammy Faye had won in the telecast in the pre-show and their speech was edited, I can't imagine her speech going unremarking on the unfairness of that. I imagine she will like very aggressively and forcefully say like,
I think every winner on the actual live show should address it.
And they might. I mean, honestly, they might, especially when they're connected to it. Like I'm saying with Jessica for sure, or if Pamela Martin wins for editing, maybe King Richard maybe before King Richard, maybe Will Smith says something in his speech. If he wins, I do think we'll see a cascade effect, and the show will be, if not dominated by this, it will not be not mentioned. I can't imagine it will go unmentioned.
The thing is, so if ratings increase even by like a smidgen this year, which likely will happen, although like probably not either, because like things are already opening up, people will be more inclined to go out and like do things on a Sunday night in late March. And I can see them saying like, oh, it went up like even 1 million, even though that's so minuscule, and they'll credit this as the reason why, when it's not the reason at all.
I do think it'll go up, and I do think the ratings will go up, because last year was such a washout, and there are actually movies and stuff this year that people care about. So I do believe.
But again, I don't even know if like they'll like, none of my friends watch the Oscars. Like,
well, I don't know. I think people will watch it this year just because they've seen some of the movies. Certainly, like they've heard of like Dune and King Richard and West Side Story.
But like, why? Like, if they care about it winning, they could just go on with their lives and then just check online to see if Dune won.
Yeah, I guess it's not about the winning. It's about just like watching it like it's an event. I just think people will watch it this year.
I just don't think it's like, I think they just have a gross misunderstanding of what, like how people consume like media now. Like It's not like 25 years ago when the only way you can find out who won an Oscar is to watch it live.
Right. Well, that's the biggest issue. And we're going to know who won these other categories.
Yeah, they're going to find out on Twitter, like who won those 8 categories. Like
Yeah, I can't wait to see who won based from a tweet by Kyle Buchanan in the auditorium. Joyce, that's it. So I guess we'll wrap up there. The big weekend ahead. We'll touch base early next week, I guess, to talk about everything that happened and then see what'll happen.
And then next week we have PGA,
which will really help us, I think, on the Power of the Dog versus Coda, the tangle for Best Picture. So I guess we'll talk then, Joyce. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.